Welcome guys, this video is just about axe and saw skills. First thing to say, okay, is there is a fact sheet about this on the Scout website. It's a really good fact sheet, okay, it's quite detailed. It's not difficult to find. If you just go on the search bar, type in axe skills, it'll be one of the fact sheets that comes up. First things first, safety. Alright, I'm going to tap my necker off. Alright, it's really important guys, you don't want anything that can catch in your axe, your saw, okay, when you're doing this type of thing. Now, I'm not going to say they're mandatory, alright, but eye protection, safety goggles, safety glasses, really handy, really easy to get hold of. You know, they're only a couple of quid in Wilko's, B&Q, you know, Wickes, any of those type of DIY hardware stores, okay. And given we're all going to do risk assessments now, there's probably no excuse of how easy and cheap these are to get hold of. Similarly, you've got to think, if you've got cubs or scouts that are going to be doing this for the first time, okay, getting them to think about their own safety, this is probably not a bad idea. Okay guys, a few more things to think about. I've got the safety glasses on. Okay, setting up an area. This is really simple. You need to rope off an area, guys, okay? How big does it need to be? Well, you think about your arm length, holding the axe that you're going to use. It needs to be at least that long, all the way around, so that you're not going to catch anyone, okay? And probably a little bit bigger. Bear in mind, should be only probably one person, the person that is cutting, alright, or using the axe in the arena, if you like, at one time. And if you're going to have two, three people doing the job, make it big enough so you've all got your individual areas. As you can see, I've got a stump here I'm going to be cutting on. I'm not going to be cutting direct onto the floor. And talking about that, okay, you can see the boots I've got on. Alright, sturdy leather boots. I'm not wearing steel toe caps because I don't want to wreck the axe. Okay, that's important as well. If you wreck your axe, your quartermaster is going to go bonkers. / you're going to be sharpening that axe for a while. So, another important feature, as you can see, I've got a first aid kit. It's easy within reach for me, okay, or easy within reach for somebody else if I'm to shout for help. Moving on now, guys, okay. Looking at the axes we're going to use. As you can tell, they're not on the ground, alright. It's important for their maintenance, keeping them, okay. You don't want them to be full of water or rusting because they've been on the ground. The other thing is, it's not going to be slippy. Okay, if it's a nice wet day or it's been damp and there's been lots of dew on the grass. So this is just a small hand axe. Okay, as you can see, it's got a cover on, a sheath. Alright, really simple to take on and off. Now if we're going to be carrying the axe around, guys, doesn't matter what axe it is, okay, like that, a bit like you're on an archery range, okay, you want the pointy bit, okay, so if you fall, it's going to go into the ground, okay, it's not going to be a risk to yourself or anybody else. Moving over to the stump. Okay, so I've got my log on the stump ready to go. Now I'm going to support this. I'm going to support this with my foot. Okay, make sure it's nice and secure. Now I'm not going to be chopping straight down. Okay, you're not going to get anywhere very quick from doing that. And I must admit, I'm taking a lot of what I'm talking about here from other scout leaders that have taught me this all the way through scouting. People might do this a little bit differently. This is the way I do it. Okay, you want to come in at an angle. You can probably see why I'm wearing the safety glasses now, because you will have bits fly out and chip off. These aren't bad bits. In fact, these are great bits that you might want cubs, scouts to come collect after, okay, for your fire. Alright, cutting at an angle, cutting into it, changing it. If you start to see a bit of a V forming, and that's how you're going to end up getting through this log. Bear in mind, this is quite a thick log that I've chosen here, and that's because I'm going to show some saw work as well. You might think that you're better off using a saw to get through it. We're trying to think about, well, I'm trying to show some skills here, guys, rather than hack it all the way through this log, which would take a long time on this video. Right guys, we're going to move on to saws. Okay, I've already taken the sheath of this one. Alright, but that is important. You should have a little plastic sheath, okay, that covers all these spiky teeth here. When you're not using the saw, it's really important that that goes back on. and you're not storing this on the ground, you're not storing it somewhere that's going to hurt people. It's just like using any saw really, okay? You've normally got a protected bit for your hand, okay? Start your little groove, and then get to work going all the way through it. Important thing to remember, guys, safety. Okay, we're not going to be leaving axes and saws everywhere for long periods of time. However, you may be partway through and something might call away your attention just for a little bit, but you're going to be able to see this. What's important is that you leave the axe, okay, in a safe position. Now, if I was to leave this, okay, here, that's a trip hazard. Not very good, not very safe. Alternatively, if I leave this here, I can see the blade is firmly in, I see the handle is the same length as my stump. I'm not going to trip over it, but also people can see it. Alright, luckily this one is bright yellow with a red head. Really important, people can see there's an axe here, okay, it's not hidden in any way. Guys, different type of axe, you can see this is much bigger, okay, your felling axe. Not something that you're going to be putting in the hands of scouts and explorers very often, okay, but if you've got some logs to chop, yeah, you might want some firewood, this is not a bad idea. Same as before, carrying it exactly the same, okay. Ideally, you're not going to be carrying axes any fair distance, but most likely from the car park to wherever you've set up for your chopping area. So, blade forward, if I trip, if I fall, that's going to go in the ground, it's not going to injure me or someone else. And in terms of chopping the wood, instead of myself, knocking the glasses there, alright, stance is going to be really important, you need to be comfortable, you probably need to have warmed up a little bit. It's going to be like any activity, it's probably something that's really easy to pull a muscle, okay, something like that. In terms of hand, okay, I'm going to start with a nice, decent grip. This hand's probably going to slide down as it comes over my head. Alright, I'm going to see how this goes. So remember guys, my right hand, okay, it's going to help me take it up because the head's the heavy bit and it's going to slide down the axe handle. So you can see there, I'm starting to get a really good split. A few more swings and that'll split away.